Right now, we're going to welcome Jesse Miller and Sneha Narayan. Thank you for coming. Pull up a mic. Yeah, let's hear them. Yeah, welcome to Recyclery. Nice to have you guys.
It's great to be here.
Jesse, did you, were you part of the starting energy of this event?
Yeah.
Recyclery? Sneha, you also?
No, I'm a much more recent member. Jesse's been for a much longer time.
Okay, what do we call a long time? I love that when I hear that from young people.
Yeah. It started in 2005.
Oh, that's a good long time. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
That's 12 years, kids.
That's 12 years, right on. And have you always been at the current location?
No.
That's what I thought.
Well, the first summer we were in a garage, and then we moved down to a basement in South Evanston. It was a residential basement.
But now,
But now we're in Rogers Park, above ground.
that's good. That helps with bikes.
Yeah, on Paulina Street, right north of the Howard CTA stop.
Well, I was honored to run into someone from the Recyclery while I was out doing some kind of petition work here a while back. And we had a nice chat, and they told me about the place. So I've been driving by a couple of times when I hit the post office across the street. It's a great little post office, no blinds, or maybe 2 people. And many people coming in off the street to talk to the postmaster there. And it's quite a show.
It's one of the last remaining neighborhood post office type feels.
But you always were closed when I went by. So I got there the other day, and I talked to an old friend named Greg, and he was working on a bike. I guess he teaches at the Art Institute. And I was really impressed. There were like maybe 10, 15, 12 stations. You had a number of people working on bikes.
Let's ask these folks how it works. What are your hours, and then how do people get involved?
So we have a number of different programs. One of our most popular programs is Open Shop, which is basically the set of times when if you have a bike that is in need of repair or just routine maintenance, you can come into our shop either on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7 to 9 p.m. or Saturday afternoons from 1 to 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. And you can bring in your bike, and we have a number of volunteers who will help you figure out what you need to do to get your bike in shape. We have the tools, we have stands, but you put in the muscle work and you turn on the wrenches, because the idea behind our programs is to empower people to learn how to work on their own bikes, and to promote more riding of bicycles in general, so that we can create a culture of sustainable transportation and healthy living, and support one another in this mission.
Wow, well said, Sneha. I like that.
So it's set up though as a cooperative or a collective.
That's correct.
And what does that mean? I mean, when we did the Heartland, we weren't a collective. People thought we were. But how's that set up? I mean, so there are some owners, members of the collective?
So we're a nonprofit, and technically we have a board of directors, but instead of having a traditional hierarchical structure, if our membership board, we instead have a volunteer board that makes its decisions collectively, and everyone on the board has one vote. We make our decisions via consensus. The collective members...
So in other words, everything takes a really long time. I've been part of those groups my entire life. Yeah, we love the consensus method. We love it. More coffee, more donuts. Yeah. Yeah, Jesse, talk about it. You've been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
How's it evolved for you? What do you think is the best improvements that have happened? Too many questions.
Okay.
Sorry.
I've always been accused of asking a million questions in
I know,
one.
I-
And I'm glad to see you're taking up the...
Let me...
Yeah. Well, I've stayed involved over the years because of it's attracted a lot of interesting, great people. So it's a fun project to have been a part of. Yeah, moving to our location in Rogers Park was a huge change. Before, it was kind of hard to find, and so it was like, you know, you had to know where it was, maybe, you know, be part of the secret club or know the secret handshake to get in the door.
Right.
But now we're much more public and visible. And
You've got a
that's-
storefront.
Yeah, right.
And there's nothing like having a storefront.
Yeah,
It's fabulous.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So yeah, that was a major
Improvement.
major change.
Have there been any articles, stories about you, whether in DNA or the Tribune or the Sun-Times?
Or reader.
And how do, I guess what I'm really after is how do people get to know about you?
Um,
Because you're a little bit in the, you know, up in the corner of the ward and et cetera.
Well, a lot of people, but I think we've got a pretty good
Mailing list?
Well, we have a mailing list. We also, I think, come up pretty early on in search results for used bikes or
Very
recycled
good.
bikes.
Very good.
So I think a lot of people find out about us when they want to buy a bike. We also do sell used bikes on Saturday mornings and in the summer on Wednesday evenings. But
And you accept donated bikes?
we do accept donated bikes. That's another way people find out about us when they're trying to figure out where they can get rid of bikes in their basement. But then we sell bikes in order to support other programs that we have, such as Open Shop that I talked about before. We also have youth programs, and we also are working with we also have like a major Recyclery program where we collect all these donated bikes that we receive, get volunteers to fix them up, and then donate them out to the community again through partner organizations like Heartland Alliance, Refugee One, so that low-income folks, refugees, and other people in need, people experiencing homelessness, can have access to bicycles so that they can, you know, have a cheap form of transportation to get around the city and, you know, get to work, all those things.
You know, we've had a number of people on this show dealing with bikes. There was the Chicago Bicycle Federation or something. There are people who talk about bike lanes and those kind of things. There was also the time when we were helping to collect parts for bikes to go to Cuba.
Nicaragua.
And Nicaragua, and then there were some people who are involved with bikes over in Africa. They were on the show. What's your sense of the progressive bike movement in Chicago and beyond? Who else is out there doing stuff?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, Active Transportation Alliance does a lot of the bigger scale advocacy in the city. But there's a number of other nonprofit shops like us. So Working Bikes.
Is that on Montrose? No.
Douglas Park.
Oh, Douglas Park. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Working Bikes, they were involved way
Excellent.
back. I think he went to Penn, he played ball.
Yeah, and Westtown Bikes well, when we first started out, we took classes at Westtown Bikes, so they were really helpful to getting us launched. And Blackstone in Hyde Park area, yep. And there's a number of others.
How do you feel? I mean, you're on an active street, Paulina. There's the kitchen, Just Harvest, and the the church.
Yeah,
I'm blowing my mind, not remembering the name of the church.
good news.
Good news,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, man, she's gonna get up.
Reverend, she's gonna be so mad at me, Reverend Bugon Banks. So, do you find that it's easy to connect with the surrounding community by virtue of being in your location?
Yes, actually, our landlord is actually Good News Partners, so we share space with their organization. And we also just had the Harvest Festival that occurred
right.
recently.
That's right.
That brought a lot of people to our streets, and that was basically a collaboration with all the businesses and community groups on Paulina. I think we've had, I know one of our collective members volunteered to help the urban farm that was
Oh, yeah, the
like
one
right
Howard
across the
Street.
street.
at Gale, at the annex.
Yeah, exactly. At the annex, yeah.
Or the other garden that's on Howard,
That's the bigger one,
the
yeah.
bigger one that you have to pay for. That's different.
Right, I think this is the one the annex that was
The
like,
annex.
the,
The students
yeah, exactly.
and the staff of Gale School did that for a long time,
Yep.
and John Hawkwater, our good friend.
Yeah.
The-
I would love to hear from either of you, your take on all the discussion about bike lanes and, there's bike accidents and there are car drivers who think the bike lanes are taken over and the bike people get preference. There are other people who are pushing for more. What's the status of the advancement of bicycle usage in the city and the way the city plays into that?
Yeah, bike lanes are great. There are studies that show that the more bike lanes you have, the more people will ride bike, and the more people are riding bikes, the safer it is for everyone, for pedestrians, for cyclists, and for drivers. So the more bike lanes, the better.
Yeah, also many people who ride bikes also have cars, and if they're on their bike, it means that they're not driving their car. So that's actually, the more people you get on bikes, the less cars that you have on the street, which actually reduces traffic and congestion. And because bikes are just much smaller, it doesn't have to be this huge, like we're pushing cars off of the road. Like the road belongs to a lot of people, and cars are just one entity.
I'm for horses coming back too.
I wonder if we'd ever get to the point where, I was in Dublin just a year ago, and the bikes in Dublin, I mean, they pull up to a stoplight, and everybody stops, of course. None of this, riding through the light, which does infuriate drivers, and it's dangerous. But everybody wears one of those neon vests as well over their work clothes on their bikes and goes, merrily on their way. And people are sharing the road. How far are we from that in America here, or in Chicago for starters, which is historically a great biking city. We were the center of bike building 180 years ago, 100 years ago, 80 years ago, 75 years ago. We were it between Schwinn and Schur and I forget who else. Not Schur. That's the microphone people.
They're the people who gave us the microphones, Kate.
Oh, we got that in there. There was another
Thank
one.
you, sure.
You know what I'm talking about? What do you think?
I think there needs to, a lot of it is cultural, so there needs to be a kind of a cultural shift, and that takes a lot of time. The more infrastructure, the better.
I think as more people ride bicycles, there will be more of a sense of what we can do to accommodate bicyclists. There are a lot of, you talked about bicycle behavior a little bit.
Yeah.
Active Trends Alliance does do workshops and stuff to help new bicyclists get on the street and learn things about safe riding. The Recyclery also hosts a number of group rides where we get people of all bicycle levels to ride together. And this is actually a good way for newer urban bicyclists to get a sense of how to use the road in a way that is safe for both yourself as well as the people around you, and also how to not endanger yourself by doing things like riding too close to parked cars, which are actually more of a danger to bicyclists than the cars moving next to you, because people can open their doors.
My kid
right
has a
into
whole
you.
ripped arm when that happens.
Yeah, getting doored is actually one of the most common bike collisions. So bike safety is a part of it. When we sell bikes, we encourage people, people are very focused on helmets, which are one safety measure, but actually what is really important and less talked about is proper lighting, which is crucial at nighttime.
Yes.
And not everyone sees that as a necessary investment when it's extremely important that you're seen when you're riding at night, because otherwise you put yourselves and others in danger.
Well, you trigger a lot of memories and thoughts, but just one thing before we wrap it up. I've gotten into some arguments as well as some serious discussions. You see people, I think the rule is after you're 12 years old, you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. And then you see people coming off the sidewalk, and cars do not expect that. And I think that's probably I don't know how many accidents there are around that, but that's the one I've come closest to and seen happen the most.
When I see adults riding bikes on the sidewalk, I say, why do you think they call it a sidewalk? Walk.
I got
I mean,
one
it's
last
pretty
thing.
intense.
Are either of you familiar with the velodrome on the southeast side? And I don't know what the status of it. We were so fortunate to have another velodrome. There are not many in the world or in the country, but we had one in Northbrook and we had one on the southeast side. And I don't know if it's been operating. They're talking about pulling it down.
They don't know.
They don't know.
I mean, I've heard about it. I would love to go see it sometime, but I actually don't
I
know
wonder if
off
you
the
could-
top of my head.
I always wanted to ride on a velodrome.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been great. Katie, wrap it up, will you?
Well, I appreciate the work you're doing, and I really love that it's in our community. You're going to have to be a regular visitor on the show to keep us posted.
Absolutely.
When's the next group ride? Do you know?
We don't have any planned
Schedule.
right now,
Okay.
but come check out our website, www.therecyclery.org.
That's therecyclery.org.
Or we're also on Facebook, so follow our page. You can get updates from there.
Good.
And if you go to our website, you'll also see the list of our programs and the times. We also offer classes. So if you're interested in learning how to tune up your bike or overhaul any part of your bike, you can come and learn with us.
That's
We
terrific.
also love volunteers of any mechanical
Right.
skill level to join us. When I started volunteering, I knew nothing about bicycles. So please come join us. We're a very welcoming community to people of all levels of mechanical skill.
Right on, sister. Right on, brother. All right. Thank you so much. You are listening to the Live from the Heartland show.